bringing back brouhaha for something else this time. So instead of just sampling, we're going to be making. Now, Zeta was supposed to be with us. If you missed the 6'5" individual probably standing between the two of us, that's because he is currently busy with work and buying a house.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
And just trying to get things done in general.
So, what Basch and I are going to do tonight is we are going to make a mead. We're also going to bottle a mead we made back in April?
It's been some time. Was it April?
Or March.
I don't know. I'm excited about this bottle of mead. We made it with apple juice instead of just water and honey. So it's probably going to be pretty interesting.
I also added a lot of brown sugar and we added Belgian beer sugar, which are the crystals.
Yeah.
So we probably got some high alcohol content in that. So what we're going to do is the first thing is you got to make a musk. Sounds terrible.
Is this musk going to try and buy Twitter?
No. It is not going to be a publicity stunt just to get everybody to talk about himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so first thing we're going to do is get 1 gallon of water to boil.
Gallons are slow boilers.
So, the reason that I know it's 1 gallon is, this is carboy. This is what you put it in. It is 1 gallon. It has a little beer stone in the top of it that cannot be removed. That just happens. So now, using the handy-dandy electric stove, we're going to let that boil. But as we do, we have to get the carboy ready for fermentation. So,
First thing we start with is the yeast. That's refusing to open. So we tell it to open.
so this is Premium Blanc. Usually I use a red wine yeast or a white Riesling? Whatever.
Resin.
Use one of those because,
Don't worry, we're wrong. The internet will correct us.
now, truth be told, if you want the best turnout on your mead, you use a yeast breed that has been specifically made for mead. Our first meads were made because some dude left honey water out too long and while yeast fermented.
Huh.
So you need to step in just a little bit.
Oh. Well, I'm just trying to be out of the way.
Now, we have added the yeast, and since we're going to be making a rather sugary mead, because we're about to add 5 pounds of honey to 1 gallon of water. We're back in the red, but we're recording, so. So, what we're going to do is we're going to add a pinch of ginger. So, sprinkle, a dash, pinch.
Yeah.
So we're going to add a pinch of ginger.
Next up is nutmeg. Not a whole lot of nutmeg. Nutmeg can be overpowering.
Yeah, it'll make everything taste like apple pie, so we're just going to add a dash.
Yep.
Now, we're going to add something that my buddy Cannon always adds to his. Now, that is going to be a sprinkle, the tiniest amount of cayenne pepper.
That's supposed to cut down the sugar.
It cuts back on some of the sweetness, but it actually also enhances it just a little bit. So, we got that. Stick these back out of the way. Next, we have brown sugar, because since Zeta is not here, we do not have our yeast enhancer or yeast nutrients. So,
Yeah.
brown sugar.
Which, food for the yeast. Food for thought.
So we're going to get a tablespoon. Oh, this is going to be messy. Hold on.
I have an idea.
Funnel's not going to be big enough. We need a paper or something.
We got we making this time around?
You bought blueberries.
Yes, I did. So, we're making a blueberry mead this time around. Something a little new.
Inspired by Valheim.
Not sponsored by Valheim. Please sponsor us.
Hashtag please do. So I'm going to let you cut those. You have better knife skills than me.
I split my finger open with a knife just the other day, so just cut them in half.
Cut them in half or quarter them, depending on how big they are. Now, while you do that, I'm going to get a little bit of orange rind. We're all over the place for some reason.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, it is trying to store. So, the live stream doesn't come through, it's fine.
It'll be up on YouTube later. Yeah, that was going in the trash.
Well, the dirt's just extra flavor.
No. So that is all the orange we will use. My child will be excited to have the orange soon. And then going to
Good job.
get. I'll be right back. That's a bit of orange, not me.
So, safety in the kitchen is very important. I found out firsthand the other day when I cut my finger with a knife by grabbing the knife, the sharp part of the knife. Not sure how many blueberries I need to do. I think the recipe we're basing it off of calls for a pound. And I'm not sure. The box doesn't give me a weight. No. I could probably be doing this faster, but you know, they're small. I don't want to cut myself again.
Alright, because I'm an adult who has a small child in his house, I only have Lightning McQueen band-aids.
Makes you heal faster. Just like the color red makes cars go faster.
Yep, so now let me go ahead and do it the smart way.
Yeah.
Knife goes away from you, folks.
Dropped that on the floor.
I got it on the table.
As I smush these two blueberries.
It's just emulsifying.
All of these.
The whole pound.
Okay.
So, that lemon will be used for something later because I don't want to waste it. Got a spare just in case, but we don't need it. Put that back in the fridge.
You want to grab the bowl to put this stuff on? Or
Actually, we can just start putting it into the fermenter.
fermenter?
Just go right into the carboy. Okay, I thought I heard something banging around, so I thought it was the lemon. It is just my child.
The one and only chaos muffin.
No, Texas, I don't need to talk to you. Little boy, are you in here?
Yes, he is.
Are you here to steal a blueberry? What are you here to do? What are you got?
Careful.
Be careful what you want. What are you here for? What? What do you want? Huh? No chips. No chips. I can give you some fruit. Fruit? Okay. I'm gonna get you a bowl of some of the extra blueberries.
I hope.
What do we get?
First time chatter with drunken what? Drunken I was half expecting someone to chastise me on my knife skills.
Alright, look, boy.
And I'm gonna continue cutting.
Yep, because I've already proven why I'm not allowed to have that.
Yeah, he was already hurt himself.
It's just,
But you know what they say, if you don't hurt yourself, is it ever really a real project?
yes, it just means that OSHA is not involved. Okay, so right now the water is about at a boil behind us. Yep.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it.
Cool. So you'll scoot over to the side, Bosch. I'm actually right in front of the.
I am.
So what I have here is a jug that is by weight 5 pounds, which is 80 ounces of honey. We're adding it. Now, if I could afford the local honey, I would definitely use our local honey. But what I'm going to do now that the water is starting to boil is I'm going to add in the honey. Still right in front of it, but all it is me holding the tub upside down, allowing honey to go in, and then start to
It's hot honey action.
kind of sticky sweet.
Yeah. Please don't pour it on me, though.
No.
We need that.
Chaos, my friend. Child. 1,
Uh-oh.
2.
We got it.
Now just make sure he's sitting. Is his bowl still at the table? You guys sit over at the table with those. Now, I'm not going to be great camera work here right now because all I'm going to be doing is stirring for a hot minute to make sure that the bottom of the pot is no longer sticky. Because one of the worst things you can do, and I've done it to one other pot, is accidentally scald the honey. There is a specific mead that requires you to do that called a braggot, but it sounds kind of bad. Let's see, what does he say? I can't read from this far away.
It says we love the hot honey action. Do you do much mead? I could never get the hang. Made some delicious dark ales, but my mead always ended up as honey scented drain cleaner.
If Zeta was here, Zeta and I for years brewed beer and made mead, but the issue is I then had a child, and you do not have a lot of time to continue it with a child. So now that he's a little bit older, we're starting to get back into the hobby. In fact, if Zeta was here, after we did after we got the mead going, we would actually have moved on to brewing a beer. Let's see. He and I have brewed a lot, but we have never broken the Louisiana state law of the amount you can brew per adult in a household. Because I do not have the facilities to do 50 gallons worth of beer. The most I've ever done is we produced 30 gallons in 1 year.
So is it like a time frame, or is it just one doing?
1 year. There's an amount of liquor, wine, and beer you can legally make in the state. I used to know it. He still does. Alright, so
I
that.
didn't know there was a limit.
Well, there's an amount that you legally can make, and then after that, you're going to get hit for moonshine.
Huh.
Okay, so we are now going to let this go for a minute to caramelize the honey. No. John's tiny hands decide to get into everything.
Yeah. You know how kids can be. It's hard for them to even be clean most of the time. So there's a random pile of dirt, they just go, oh, look, that dirt needs to be on me. or currently mud.
Yep.
Making progress.
Now this is going to require what's called secondary fermentation. So we're going to let this go for a minute until the bubbles stop, and then we're going to transfer it to another canister or another carboy, because if we allow it to sit for too long, it will end up making it skunky and kind of gross. It'll make it turn bitter. That's true, you didn't have Prohibition. Also, good to see from the UK. Also, who's blowing up my phone? It is the Discord.
Oh.
I'll have to check some of that out. So, how's everything over in the UK with that heat wave y'all been having, though? I mean, we call that Tuesday with the weather y'all have, but y'all usually don't get that at all.
Yeah, y'all are a bit further north than us.
That's putting it mildly.
Of course, it's unseasonably warm for a lot of people.
It's been warmer than this is the hottest it's been in Louisiana since 1955 or something like that. But 1955 was the year that we didn't pay the AC bill, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, each state has a different amount you can legally produce, and truth be told, no one's really enforcing it as long as you don't start selling it and go to a commercial level.
That's what he's saying.
Completely unprepared because it's just not normal. Y'all don't have air conditioning. I've been to England once, and I was surprised that in late March there was still a chance of snow, because I come from a section of the world where if it snows at any point, the whole damn town shuts down. Like,
Yeah.
and Walmart is out of the damn near everything. Like, people treat it like it's a hurricane. Actually, they take it more seriously than a hurricane, because a hurricane would just buy hurricane snacks.
Yeah. And toilet paper.
Because it said hurricane snacks.
For some reason, we just don't take hurricanes seriously anymore.
Well, considering we get hit with twice as many as we did a decade ago. But yeah, I was surprised when we went. The hotel we stayed in had a heating unit, but didn't have an AC unit. Not that we needed it. Also, the thing I liked is when I walked around England, the couple times I broke over, or London when I broke away from the tour group, is no one suspected I wasn't from there until I opened my mouth. But my roommate was always wearing an LSU jersey and a Dallas Cowboy starter jacket, and was that American tourist, and it was terrible.
Huh.
They were still having a couple of drops every so often. We're mostly okay. Again, if it's still laggy or anything like this, it will be on our TVA YouTube page later on. Dang, that's a lot of blueberries.
Yeah.
Technically, we could add 2 pounds.
It's a lot of cutting.
If you're done, you're done. I understand that. There's the rain.
Well,
Still, the heat was unbearable. I mean, if AC goes out here, we're miserable too, so.
yeah. So, being so far north,
You gonna get it?
do you guys get a whole lot of humidity, or is it just hot heat?
Just give it a minute. I've seen a few of bad American tourists, but generally speaking, side of the road. Why is everything in millimeters and meters? It's like, dude, it's the metric system. They need to use imperial. Like, they still use miles for driving a lot of times, though, man.
I know the U.S. keeps talking about switching over to.
Oh, I would agree with that statement that China is the absolute worst. Not just on climate. Thing is, oddly enough, China's climate is about the same as ours because it's about the same latitude on almost everything. Like, I didn't realize how close to subtropical we actually are.
I mean, well, China's almost as tall, north and south.
It's geographically slightly larger than the U.S., but almost has the general same shape and climate patterns because their southwest is like our southwest, except for things you're not supposed to say on Twitch because it'll get you banned.
Of course, I got the blueberry. Terrible if stepped on.
That just makes someone fall down. You got one, you still haven't done it.
I missed one. Oops. So, hopefully, when we do this next year, or
Hopefully it's not
whenever, well, I mean, we're going to do more meads, but the next time we attempt a blueberry mead, it'd be fantastic if we could use our own blueberries.
Oh, that's true. He and I both have gardens. I just planted another 3 blueberries in a low light area of my yard to see if I can get a low light garden going. All right, I don't think we need the cutting board for anything else.
Yep.
Now, we can put these blueberries somewhere.
Yeah. The thing with China, though, is it's got a pretty big desert.
Gobi. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not up to snuff on my geology.
Geography.
Yeah, both G's. And there's a phenomenon that happens in the Asian area. It's called yellow dust. It's basically the way the wind can blow. A lot of the dust and sands and pollution gets swept up from China, blown across the sea, and it kind of spreads through the neighboring Asian nations. And that's usually around summertime. I lived in South Korea for a while, so we kept our windows open when it was hot out. We'd always come back after work, and we'd have like a caked layer of yellow dust. And some people would say, "Oh, it's just pollen." It's like, no, it's way too much for pollen.
Now, where we're at right now in mead making is we're letting this caramelize just a little bit, get it a little bit darker, get it a little bit of some few tannins in there. So, because this amount of sugar is gonna do it for a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we can go ahead and actually kill it and let it start cooling. Now, at this stage, you can do a couple different things to the meat. You can add brown sugar to it right now to up the gravity for later because you will dissolve the sugar in, and it will also darken the mead and enhance the honey. Now, since we bought just a 5-pound thing of honey that is from somewhere in Texas, it depends on the honey you use. Like if you use wildflower honey, if you use citrus honey, if you use just out in the woods honey, I don't know what that would be, wood honey.
I don't know.
Just the bee juice.
Yes.
Anyway, at this point you can do different things to it. Now some people would take the fruit and put it into a cheesecloth and steep it. So steeping it, you'll get some of the flavor, some of the stuff, but you will not have the actual full berry in the fermenter because when you put the full berry in the fermenter for mead or beer or anything like you're trying to make a fruity one, you can end up with a bacteria that'll skunk it. It doesn't ruin it. Lambic beers and certain wines intentionally put that bacteria in there to give it that sour taste. Like any Belgian sour, lambics, sour wines, from Landry's, they had the It didn't do well, but then again, Landry's right now is not really doing well. So you just gotta be careful when you put the raw fruit straight into the fermenter. But also, since we're doing small batches, the likelihood of that is not as bad. And if it does happen, we're out $15 at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's always an experiment.
It is. Now, we could also fill my sink up with ice that is just off camera over here, and water, and then try to chill this faster with that, because you really want to get it down to about 70 degrees. Or in other words, if I do this, it doesn't kind of hurt. So, right now that is probably sitting at just below, I would say 150, 160 degrees. Fahrenheit. If it was Celsius, oh god, it'd melt through everything. And if it was Kelvin, I don't even remember how Kelvin works. I just know if you say 0 degrees, everybody's on the same page. And then once you get past that, it's like everybody agrees what cold is. So, but yeah, we're growing, since this is either growing the berries. I also have a fig tree planted. My old house, I'm still picking figs from it because my uncle's in it now. I'm going to probably buy another fig tree and plant it because my child absolutely loves fruit. My child will pick fruit over a candy bar any day, and I am keeping that. So if I can grow stuff in the yard, like I also have blackberries. You have a blackberry bush.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting ready to produce some more, but it's not enough. Usually it takes about a year for stuff to establish itself.
And I transplanted mine from the old house. So maybe next year, blackberry mead.
Maybe.
Cannon made a blackberry mead. Now, the best mead he made, the best mead Cannon made was the Earl Grey tea mead. And he did that without putting tea in it, I believe.
I have heard tell.
He made Mountain Dew mead. I don't know how he did it, but it tasted legit like Mountain Dew.
That sounds dangerous.
Oh, it was, because it was one of those that one person at the camp out woke up in the woods. We don't know when they went in the woods. Live in the city? Because they're saying they missed the ability. Not gonna lie, my old house was on a quarter of an acre. I'm now on a half acre. Next year, my wife is dreading it because there's a good chance, since I got left a tiller by my parents. Do you live on a narrowboat? Or do you live on like a houseboat?
Or a different kind of boat.
But I have a tiller now, so I can plant large amounts of stuff in the rest of the yard that's not a garden.
True. I mean, if you had your way, you'd turn your whole yard into...
I stay away from doing the front yard mostly because the city gets involved on crap like that and annoys the hell out of me.
Usually it's out of sight, out of mind. Not that we're doing anything wrong,
we don't live in an HOA and nobody's really going to freak out here.
Yeah.
But then again, if I plant a nut tree, I'm not going to live long enough for it to produce.
True.
And I doubt Vincent's going to want to stay here.
You never know.
Who knows? But always remember the adage, wise is the man who plants a tree that, will never live long enough to sit in the shade. It's old Greek
Something like
saying.
that.
Now, let's see.
Ah.
Cool. I don't know. A while back, I watched a dude on Amazon. Amazon for a while was putting YouTube channels on their life on a narrowboat.
Wait, is this the guy that recorded his trips for Japan on boats?
No. It's a British guy, got divorced, had a midlife crisis, and then moved on to a narrowboat and started boating around the canal network in England. And I watched that, and then I hadn't had anything recommended to me about narrowboats in a long time. And now my YouTube is full of narrowboat crap. I shouldn't say crap. I think narrowboats are really cool. I would never actually do it because, as you can see, I am a thick boy. I am rather broad, and just at 6 feet, it can be
hard to maneuver.
Yeah, Mostly the width, because narrow boats are
Narrow.
narrow.
I've done my time on big gray floaty thingies. I like being on land.
I've also learned, I didn't learn this until I was actually in the middle of it happening, is I apparently have a fear of open water. I learned that in Alaska, because we went on a glacier tour, and I was fine until all of a sudden the captain comes on. Everybody on the boat, I would like to inform you that we are passing over the something trench. It is 1,500 feet to the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, well, I'm freaking out now. And then we went a little bit further out so we could hook up to the glaciers, and we were in open water, and I saw no land. I didn't expect my brain to do anything with that. Is something here?
I don't know. Let me look. It was just in that door.
No.
No.
Nope. So,
Well.
can't blame you. America did the same thing, but we don't have canals over here, at least outside of New England. So the tiny house craze kicked off. Emily's terrified I'm going to build one of those.
I'll never understand the tiny house thing.
I
like having space. Big open spaces.
I don't want to live in a tiny house, but making a tiny house trailer. Having a camping trailer that is a tiny house I built would be dope. Living in it all the time with the family, not dope.
I don't know. I think
Single me would have probably done it.
I'd rather spend my time working on bushcraft. Go out in the woods, cut down a few trees, make a bed, set up everything you need for a weekend.
More power to you. I'm gonna have an air mattress. Preferably one that does not involve me being only 6 inches off the ground, so I don't have to stand up to full height. I can sit and then lie down.
That's got a little while.
Yeah, that's gonna walk. So let's move this out of the way. I will get a towel, and we are going to use the auto siphon.
Yep.
Also, we have something that we have to try since it is what Zeta left us, or Grave left us.
Yep. So he brewed a set. We have yet to try it. He gave us a small jar.
Good reason. All right, let's clear off the table of everything.
All right. Oh, sorry, Dewey.
So what did they say?
Hey, love the tiny house thing, but then again, it's $500, so.
I am going to wash the jars again.
Not a bad idea. Now, doing this because this island that I made a while back has a maple and walnut. I think that's steel. Or stile? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. But this mead is the mead we made a while back. First thing I'm going to do is remove the airlock, which to give you an idea of how much sugar was in there, the yeast got into the airlock, but I don't expect any problems from it. Forgive us as we clean.
Yep.
Also, what is our pizza supposed to be here?
Good question.
Soonish?
Yeah, soonish.
If you have it delivered to your house or mine.
Yours. So yeah, they said about 45 minutes.
Okay.
We're professionals, we swear.
I don't.
Well, I don't either.
My language is fucking immaculate.
Yeah?
Oh, because I wasn't thinking. Nope, that's not gonna work.
Now we can do it. Are we gonna need that again?
Yeah, we only have one airlock.
Ah.
Zeta has all the airlocks. He took all the rest of the brewing supplies with him, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Because we did not know we were going to do this again. But this will be fine.
Yeah, well, we want hot water. Kills the germs.
Yep. Gotta leave that sitting there. Alright. Let us unbung it, which sounds dirty.
Are you gonna pop the bung hole?
Oh God. I forgot this is the acacia, or this is the apple juice bottle.
Yeah.
That's a little bit snug. We'll get rid of that. I'll more of that later. Okay, so.
Is that enough jars?
Oh my God.
What?
Smell it. John, you good?
So. That smells alcoholic.
Yep. So, first thing we need to do, get 2 tiny glasses.
Tiny.
2 of the short glasses on the other side.
Yeah.
Tasting glasses. So, this is an auto siphon. Most of the time we do gravity. Go hold that in there.
Got it.
But the problem with that is that one of us would be completely off screen. We're still going?
A little bit. We got a bit of a dribble. I don't know if you guys can see that. Wonder. We can just hold that up.
That's not helping at all.
No.
So, auto siphon makes it better mostly because of the, I don't have to sit here and suck on the other hose like I'm siphoning gasoline in the 1920s. This is cloudy.
Yes, it is.
That's a good sign to me.
Is it?
I like cloudy meat. I like more traditional meat.
Next bottle.
Yeah, switch to the other one that we stole from the actual meadery in this area.
I can't wait for Bill to back up.
We have a local brewery called Two Warriors. Unfortunately, almost a year ago they burned
Yeah.
down, so they've been doing small batches.
They've been having to run through other meaderies with whatever extra they have, or extra space they've got, just to put out some kind of product and keep afloat. They make some good stuff though. Before the fire burned, they were looking at shipping into other areas. I know they were getting orders from Canada.
Hold on, we gotta
What's up?
figure out something because we're in the air bubble that prevents it from still going. Oh, we got a follower.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. Might not have a good enough suction on it.
We're almost done with this.
Okay. So let's put those off to the side. There's a reason we got a towel down. And we're not using Cannon's bottle that he left here. Hold on, submerge it into the liquid.
Alright.
We're still going up.
Slowly.
I'm just trying not to disturb that yeast cake at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because unlike wine that has a mother, the yeast cake in mead is not reusable, not that I've seen. And if you get it inside your mead, there's a good chance. Oh wait, that's also, we had the thing on it the whole time. Alright, okay, let's get that one out and switch into this one.
Not that hard.
or the devil's or the devil's cut. It depends on who you ask what they call it. This last bit's going to be yeasty, though.
Yeah. Can't always get everything.
No, you can't.
But if you try sometimes.
You get the shits. That's what happens. Alright, we're going to call it.
There.
So, we're not sampling from the last joint. Okay, so let me move this over here.
Yeah.
If you want to cap those.
Mason jars come in handy for a lot of things.
Again, the trick learned from Canon, because I was like, I really don't want to sit here and bottle wine.
Sealed.
Oh? Did it seal?
Hell, you heard the pop.
Well,
We got the Chaos Muffin in here again.
damn chaos muffin.
Which one are we sampling from?
The first one we pulled, because that's from the other part. What you need, buddy? Are you just looking at what I'm doing? You what? You want to eat something? Okay, actually, come here. Put those back. Put those back. We're going to take your medicine and I'm going to give you a strawberry cake, okay?
Hey, no worries.
What? They have to go?
Okay, yeah, we're getting ready to taste it. He's gonna look for a minute.
There's a little yeast in these.
Yeah, a little bit, but here's.
Oh my god. That's sweet.
This has a bit more of a carbonation to it. So there's the apple cider.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, like I said before, we did with apple juice, and now there's a certain kind of apple juice because most of them have a chemical in it. Do you remember which one?
They put an acid in 90. You got to get organic apple juice or organic apple cider because there's a preservative they put here in the U.S. that kills 90% of yeast. That is very sweet. This is a dessert mead.
Yeah, this is a very sweet mead with a bit of bitterness on the back end.
That's also that's going to be a sipping mead.
Yeah.
There's also a little heat.
I'm not getting the heat. I'm getting the gravity. This mead is a little potent.
Yeah, that'll knock your shoe or knock your socks off. It probably would have benefited from a secondary fermentation to clear up just a little bit. Child!
I'm getting a lot of orange from it too, surprisingly.
That's because we put those orange peels in it.
Yeah, those.
The coriander gives it that little peppery note.
So,
1, 2. Where are you? Yeah, that tracks for my job, doesn't it? Oh, you're watching Encanto.
Yeah. So.
Now, here you go. Now, look at me. Eat that in the leather chair. Don't eat it anywhere else because that stuff stains. That's good.
It is good. The taste and flavor is completely different from what I was expecting.
It is very sweet, and that's because we put that rock sugar in
Yeah, we do use coriander.
there. Okay. My favorite mead I made a while back was I made a modified bracket. I didn't caramelize the sugar before adding the water because it can explode. So I caramelized the sugar, added a lot of brown sugar, but I also put barley grain and steeped it, making a tea. And I called it black mead. I added coriander, nutmeg, a quarter of a stick of cinnamon, just the tiniest bit. So spice it. Now one of my other favorite meads I make is I make a metheglin, which if you read anything by Patrick Rothfuss, it's a fake one, but it's not. Metheglin is a medicinal spiced mead, most of the time with mint. I love it. This dude over here told me it tasted like cough syrup.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the medicine flavors in most things, so even the harsher whiskeys. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll check. I'm trying to think. What is? I want to say Ardbeg.
Huh?
I want to say Ardbeg. There's a whiskey that's got a very medicinal flavor.
I mean, there's also Jaeger.
Yeah, that's licorice.
Yeah, that's a tummy medicine that you're supposed to drink. Yeah, sip it like I just did. This is unique.
Yes.
Appley. Kind of like apple jelly appley. Not like apple appley, but faux apple. And this is sweeter than we made. Like
Yeah, this is incredibly sweet.
It has more of a, it almost has a baby food.
You're right on. I think apple jelly is the right way to describe it. It kind of tastes like you might have added more honey after the fact, because that's very much on the
No,
nose.
this is, hold on.
It has an odd smell too.
This had a bad lock on it. Remember I told you that sour bacteria?
Yeah.
It has it in it. It's not bad because it's almost that fake Granny Smith apple taste.
Yeah.
It's not bad. No, actually no, this would be good for tea.
I could see this as a sweetener for tea.
That would be good in tea, but that would also knock you on your tea.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, not bad. Just
I don't know what to think about this one. Do you know what Chris did with it?
no.
If he was here, he could explain it. But we'll have to wait for next time.
It also has a weird. It has a thicker consistency than this one.
Yes, it does.
Which one did we drink from? This one.
This one.
That was the second one.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the first. Oops.
Because we got shrub in there. So here's the thing: is getting yeast into the mead is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that it's still going to ferment even if you refrigerate it slightly.
This is not a good one to follow with this one with.
Ours is better though.
Well, yeah, we made it.
Well, all three of us made it.
Yeah. The taste, we should have cleansed the palate. Because this one definitely is like,
Makes this one a little bit more bitter when you drink it.
yeah, the bitterness definitely comes out.
Also the fact that this is cold and this is hot.
There's that too.
Do we actually have any? Oh god, I think there's still a jar of Knox's blackberry wine in my fridge outside. That needs to go with its vinegar.
Ooh. Blackberry vinegar.
This also has a little bit more.
Well, I do have another jar of meat that's not been opened. I forget what's in it.
I say we don't find that out tonight. I gotta move furniture to the second floor of an apartment building, I believe, tomorrow.
Ugh. It's terrible.
Yeah, but my favorite cousin, the baby cousin.
Yeah.
Not the baby baby. The baby baby is has scholarships from Chick-fil-A right now.
Huh.
Apparently, you work at Chick-fil-A from like 16 until you graduate high school. You can apply for a scholarship or some shit like that.
That's neat. That's awesome. College is expensive.
College is dummy expensive.
I feel like we might have done too much pouring.
No. We're also going to let this sit in jars and mellow for a bit. It's also going to get refrigerated.
Yeah.
So,
So for those of you who might be wondering, the temperature at which you try things affects the taste. So lower temperatures tends to reduce the amount of flavors and taste, and it mellows it out. Whereas higher temperatures, you'll taste a lot more. That's why you have all these terrible beers advertising that they are the coldest beers ever. I stand by that. If your beer has to advertise to be cold and be good, it's not a good beer.
Oh, no, it depends. Because, like, I'll be honest, I don't want a Guinness after mowing the lawn. If you hand me a Coors, I mean, you just gave me really good water plus one.
Yes.
You didn't hand me a loaf of bread that I would enjoy much more later in the day.
Well, this is a different type of beer. I mean, Guinness, I wouldn't call a light beer.
Guinness is, okay, to me, Guinness is a light beer, but you've seen what I drink.
Yes. Mr.
Old Rasputin.
Old Rasputin, yes. That is a very, very heavy beer.
I like to drink my bread. And Russian Imperial Stouts, I found out, were my favorite beer because, yeah. They carry a punch, they taste good, and they're wonderful. However, we don't get them here anymore, so I have to bootleg them from when I visit my in-laws. And I am now officially out again until I go back. Yeah.
They went fast. We
They
actually
only come in a 4-pack.
Yeah. We actually did another brouhaha not too long ago where we sampled multiple beers, multiple different types of beers, ranging from cheap to more expensive.
Okay, Ruby L's are good. Like, okay, so the breakdown
Yeah.
of beers is Chris and I made one Imperial. And the reason we made one Imperial is because the amount of grain to water nearly broke the bank to make the 5-gallon Imperial. It's double the grains because, yeah. So, starting off with my favorites, Russian Imperial stouts, cream stouts. The darker, the heavier, the harder. If they can stain wood, they're more than likely the one I'm going to drink. Because I enjoy that kick, I enjoy that bitterness, I enjoy the tannins. But the thing with the Russian Imperial Stout is they were made actually in North England or Southern Scotland. And they were very high alcohol content because they had to sail to Russia where the Russian Imperial Court liked them. So much like with the later on India Pale Ale, the god-awful experiment that we're still dealing with, they didn't hop it as much, they just made the alcohol content a lot higher so they could survive that travel through the Baltic to Russia. And then it just became known as the Russian Imperial Stout. Now, if that's not the true story, that's the one I got, and that's the one I'm sticking with, just like the story about Littlefinger came about. Then you got ales. Ales are wonderful. Red ale, I mean, because technically, regular Guinness Draught is a ruby. If you look at it, it's actually a very, very deep red. But red ales, ruby ales are fantastic. They are a very good sit down, enjoy a movie, or sit down and play a video game beer because they have flavor and the alcohol content's not too high. Then you get Pilsners and wheat beers, which is Zetas. Well, I keep saying Zeta, Brave.
Brave, Zeta, Chris.
Topher has so many daggone names and handles.
He does. He's the big one. Stick with it.
Well, I
Or
mean,
not.
it's because his name is Chris Brown, dude. And a while back, that was slapping hot news.
Yes, it was.
So, any case, the wheat beers, the Pilsners, those are great beers for after you've done a lot of work outside or been in the heat, especially down here, which is why 90% of American beers are a variant of the Pilsner, because working in a hot factory all day, 3%, 4% alcohol content beer, it's more or less you're getting slightly alcoholic water that gives you a pick-me-up as long as you only drink one or two. It's the reason they give beers away at the end of marathons to anyone that's 21 or older in the country, because literally there's crap in it that is better for you than just drinking a glass of water or Gatorade. Now I will say there's a couple beers I cannot stand. IPAs.
Fair enough. To
India-
be fair, they're a bit overdone, but they all start tasting the same.
Well, okay, IPAs in the U.S. are a problem. I have run into 2 IPAs that were actually good, but the rest of them want to put Calypso and cascade hops in there until there's more hops than beer. So you're basically getting a bag of soggy grass clippings.
Yeah.
Now, the other one that's a problem. Let's see where. Okay, a good German Pils, a actual good German Pils or a good German wheat beer is wonderful. Just like a Belgian beer is wonderful. The problem is, I live in America, where American Pilsner's the equivalent of beer as American cheese is the equivalent of cheese. Neither one of them are actually what they advertise themselves to be, because, I mean, I come from the country that created Velveeta. You can make fudge with it, and it doesn't taste like cheese. Thank you, Paula Dean, for allowing me to know that fun fact. Look. What? Isabella? Are you telling us about the movie? He's watching it, can't tell. For the 80th time. Not today. But, like, that child loves that movie. So, the thing is, there are good beers. And good beers are absolutely wonderful. And then there are bad beers. Like hemp ale.
That just sounds like
I didn't know what.
unpleasant beer.
I never smoked pot. I had friends that did. I just never did because I never had bail money, which always factored into the cost of imbibing in that illegal recreational substance back in the early 00s, the AUKs as they were.
Yeah.
And so Grave and I used to actually every so often get 50, 60 bucks together between the two of us and have fancy beer nights. We'd go buy fancy cheese from the local grocery store, get some fancy crackers or fancy bread, and then go buy fancy beer. And one time we bought hemp ale. Never again. I didn't know what bong water was or tasted like. Grave informed me that is what bong water tastes like. And I never want to drink that again. Ever.
That just sounds terrible.
Now, I've also learned there are some absolutely terrible Japanese beers that are no longer distributed here because there is apparently a beer that is made with soy and some type of noodle. Like the Muramoto soba ale was actually good because it was soba that was used to make soba noodles, not like they actually used the noodles. But there is some weird, like they actually let noodles and beans ferment and use that to produce the yeast to make this beer.
Huh.
And it tasted like when you wake up with a hangover spit. So I guess it was there to encourage you not to drink.
Well, to be honest, let's be honest here. Japan comes up with a lot of
Putting
interesting
this back in
stuff.
the fridge because
Alright.
we'll drink the jelly beer later or jelly mead later.
I mean, Japan is the nation that produces like 175 different types of Kit Kat.
To be fair, those are good.
A lot of them are good. Some of them, not so much. I do not want to try the wasabi Kit Kat.
Okay, I'd do that on a dare, but that's just because it sounds terrible.
I wouldn't do it for recreation. It does sound terrible.
I mean, Emily, or Frey, absolutely loves the matcha Kit Kats.
Yeah. I know they also have different regulations for their whiskeys. I know some of their they don't so much brew the way we think about it here in the U.S., where it's like, oh, here's the same recipe and we'll use all of it like for words and brain not work.
Words
Like Jack Daniels, for example. You expect the same thing from every bottle every time. Whereas over in Japan, a lot of the breweries are owned by a single company, and what they like to do is a mix. They don't just, oh, we're going to make this one type of whiskey and sell it as it is. No, they like to mix them all together. Hibiki, I believe, is
Zeta has the
one of the better examples I've got. But don't quote me on that. I could be completely wrong and, full of it.
So,
It's been a hot minute.
yeah, that's still warm. I know
Yes,
it is.
yes.
And Zeta, like I said, Zeta has the thermometer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point in mead making, it is literally
backside of your hand.
Less nerve endings, and it'll do less damage if it goes wrong.
Yeah. And on top of that, you have a habit to just grab when you touch something.
It's also like if you watch any movies, like I need blood for the spell, and they do this. I'm like, there are too many tendons on the inside. Go on the back, or don't do something that requires your blood. But what we're gonna do is wait for this actually to cool down and wait for our food to get here, which probably.
Yeah, it should be here any minute now. It doesn't take that long.
So I think this is where we might cut the stream and wait for this to cool down. I don't know when the next brouhaha is. We might do a cell phone recording where we go to a local brewery, or we might go. Well, I mean, Flying Tiger doesn't do tours.
No, not really.
I mean, they're not big enough.
No, I mean all their stuff you can see it from the window.
We might go over to Shreveport and go to Great Raft.
Yeah.
So there might be, I don't know when school's about to start. He's the IT guy. I'm an actual teacher. He deals with a lot more frustrations from my coworkers because I at least know how Windows works for the most part.
You say that, and then you get Windows 11.
No, I haven't messed with that one yet. Anyway, let's see. Sunday will be a busy day because you'll actually be running the third installment of Into the Woods.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting one. I've had a couple of people change their characters, but initially I thought I had a group of holy rollers going in.
I was a wizard the entire time.
Oh yeah, you were one of the few that haven't changed. So, I'm not going to give anything away about the game. I'm simply calling my my run of it, Into the Woods, a cold hell. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, I hope. And hope you tune in.
See, also at 8 o'clock Sunday, we will be discussing in a special roundtable, because July is one of those weird months this year that had 5 Sundays.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a breakdown of the Dungeons and Dragons movie trailer. We're not talking about the movie itself. We're going to evaluate the trailer and give our honest opinions on all of it. There might be words shared by a few of us. Oh, you're a blacksmith. Nice. Knox and Cannon that are in the Monday Night campaign, they're blacksmiths as well. Speaking of Monday nights, we will be back with Lost Seas until the completion of this season, which is also the finale of the whole campaign. I gave them way too much money. There's no reason those characters would keep adventuring ever.
Fair enough.
And next Thursday, we'll be back with the next episode of Tears of Kairos, where we have returned back to Zrael from Ixalan. So we'll see how that goes. Also, we'll see if Nasa keeps letting me coffee lock.
Yeah.
I dropped a bunch of 5th level spells, and I do not have the ability to cast a 5th level spell. So many sorcery points.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you very much, Drunken Dwarf. Let's see. Dwarf Iron? Yeah, making sure I said it right. Thank you very much, Drunken Dwarf Iron, for the follow and talking with us this evening as we make mead. And since Knox is not here, don't let your meat loaf.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.